Good evening, my little friends. Tonight, I have a magical tale to share with you. It's a story that takes us back to the enchanting lands of Ireland, where legends and fairies come to life. Once upon a time, in the lush and mystical lands of Ireland, there dwelled an ancient and extraordinary race of beings known as the Tuatha Dé Danann. They were the people of the goddess Danu, a noble and mysterious folk with the power to shape-shift into any form they desired. These fairies of Celtic legend were as beautiful as they were enigmatic, their magical skills spanning from art and smithery to poetry and music. In the heart of Ireland, they were revered as both gods and fairies, their nature as elusive as the shifting mists that often veiled their presence. Some whispered that they were fallen angels, not good enough to be saved, nor wicked enough to be lost. This duality made them the tricksters of the Celtic realms, equally capable of causing mischief and spreading benevolence among mortals. One day, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, painting the Irish sky in hues of orange and pink, a curious young child named Aoife lay in her bed. Her grandmother, a wise old storyteller, had promised to share a tale of the Tuatha Dé Danann that evening, and the child's heart was filled with anticipation. Grandmother began her story, her voice a soothing lullaby.
Long, long ago, in a time when the world was still young, the Tuatha Dé Danann descended upon Ireland. They came from a distant western mountain, their arrival marked by dark clouds so massive that they caused a 3-day eclipse, turning day into night. These mystical beings could arrive by land and sea, their journey shrouded in magic and wonder.
Aoife's eyes widened, and she clutched her blankets in rapt attention.
But Ireland was not an empty land, continued grandmother, her eyes twinkling with the memory of the tale. It was inhabited by the Firbolg, once enslaved in Greece, and the Fomorians, a fearsome supernatural race. When the Tuatha Dé Danann arrived, a great battle erupted. These ungodly powerful fairies emerged victorious, bringing an era of peace and prosperity to the land.
The child imagined a world where fairy gods ruled, their magic bringing bountiful harvests and laughter to all. Grandmother continued.
But their reign could not last forever. Mortal humans, known as the Milesians, arrived and challenged the Tuatha Dé Danann. Despite their immense powers, the fairies could not overcome these determined newcomers.
Aoife's eyes glistened with wonder as she envisioned the fierce battles and magical confrontations.
After their defeat, the Tuatha Dé Danann retreated to the hidden places of Ireland, deep within ancient hills, burial mounds, and barrows known as Sidhe. These mystical gateways served as portals between our world and the other world, where the ever-living ones found sanctuary.
Aoife's imagination soared as she pictured these secret doorways and the enchanted realms beyond. Grandmother continued.
Over time, the Tuatha Dé Danann grew less mischievous and more secretive. They mingled with other fairy folk, creating a broad category of beings known as the Sea, or the Sidhe, referencing the earthen mounds the fairies used as gateways.
With every word, Grandmother wove a tapestry of magic and history that drew Aoife deeper into the story.
In the embrace of Christianity, the Sea and their ancestors, the Tuatha Dé Danann, were transformed from godlike beings into figures of folklore. They became the other crowd, the good people, or simply them, existing in the hearts and minds of the people.
Aoife listened, her heart racing, as she discovered the hidden world of the Sea and the tales of their playful tricks and occasional malevolence.
As the years passed, people discovered that the Sea could be helpful or mischievous, depending on how they were treated. They were known to carry off lives, be it humans, livestock, or wildlife, and even exchange them with changelings, fairy creatures that resembled those they replaced.
Aoife's mind swirled with thoughts of these magical exchanges and the mystery of the fairy folk.
In our world, the time of twilight is when the Owls are most likely to appear. And those in transitional states, like pregnant women, nursing mothers, and those beginning puberty, were the most at risk. But remember, they could be both kind and cruel, just as the Tuatha Dé Danann were.
As the story came to a close, Grandmother softly sang a lilting, ancient Irish tune, filling the room with a sense of magic and wonder. Aoife's eyes grew heavy, and she drifted into a dream world, where the Tuatha Dé Danann and the Owls danced among the stars, carrying tales of old to the realms of sleep. And so, under the watchful gaze of the moon and the protection of the ancient fairies, Aoife drifted into a peaceful slumber, her dreams filled with the enchanting stories of Irish folklore and the magical beings that once graced the Emerald Isle. Sweet dreams, dear friends. May the magic of the Tuatha Dé Danann fill your dreams with wonder tonight.